Well, it does that automatically, but now that I've specified it, you see this is what it does. And if I say 40%, you see now it only covers 40% of my screen. And yes, basically 40% is what I want. And then display, there are many ways to display, or what the style display means is that some divs are automatically blocks. So a block just means that an element will take up the entire space, like the line within the space. So if I have many other elements following after, if I want to display my element as a block, then it means that it will take up the entire space, like from the side, and the next element that comes afterwards will only come in underneath. They will not share the same line in the screen. So it just means that block just takes over the whole space or the whole line, and the next element will have to follow underneath. So this is what I want to do. I will say block, and then I will give it a margin. Now margin is similar to padding, but what it does is that it creates space outside of the element. So it creates space between the element and whatever is next to the element. It creates space according to how much space you specify. So if you want a 10 pixel space between other elements that next to that particular element, then it will be 10 pixels. But unlike padding, padding creates space within. So any elements that are inside that element, there will be a space between of whatever specified number between the main element and that element that is inside. Okay, so basically, yeah, padding creates space within, margin creates space without. Outside. Yeah, creates space outside. Yeah, margin. So you can specify a margin as a whole this way, where you can for instance, if I say margin yeah, let's say 200 pixels. What it will do, it will just automatically create margin everywhere, all around, margin around the element. But if I specifically say margin left, then it will only create a margin on the left side of the element. So I will create here margin right, auto. Basically what this auto effect is, why I'm doing this is I want my div element to be centered. And when I create a margin of auto, not, I'm saying it in a very German way, I'm saying auto, but because of, yeah, so I'm kind of used to speaking like that now. But yes, margin auto just automatically creates centers your div element. It puts it in the center. And because this is what I want to do, then I don't give it a specific number. If you say auto, then it just automatically, it will find the center point between the width and it will just place it there. Okay, and it's important, if you want to do this, then you have to use, it should be a display of block, and then the margin left and right should be auto, then it will always center if there's no other. Well, if it's block, obviously there won't be any other element that comes afterwards or that is next to it. And then margin at the bottom, then I will create a margin of 40 pixels. So basically margin has you can create a margin on the left, on the right, at the top, at the bottom, So you can specify for each one of these corners or sides. And another way of doing it is by doing it this way. You can say margin, and if I say margin 10 pixels and 30 pixels, basically what this means is that it creates a margin at the top, and at the bottom will be 10. So how it calculates is from like in a clockwise manner. So it starts at the top, and then side, bottom, and then side again, which would be top, right, bottom, and then left. So when you specify here, this column, you can think of it as a column, is the top and the bottom, and then this specifies the margin at the on the left and on the right. So this is another way of declaring. So if you wanted to have 10 at the top and the bottom and 30 on the sides, then this is another way of declaring it instead of going in and doing it individually. Okay, so this is another shortcut if you don't want to give them all the same size margin. Okay, so the next one is okay, I'll also give my main container, I'll just do this, yeah. I think it's always good to create indentations this way, so that when somebody reads your code, it's clear, you know, what's the parent and what's the child. Just good coding practice. Okay, main container. I just want to give my main container the width of 0. No, sorry, auto. Why am I saying 0? Auto. Yeah. Okay, so this is how it's looking now. No, I think I just yeah, my gosh, what have I done? Yeah. Yes, this is the main container. Yeah. Okay, excuse that. Sorry, my bad. This is the these are the specifications for the main header div. Well, man, total mess up. Anyway, yeah. So I want to make the main container the width to be auto, and then the main header div will have these this style, and yeah. This is what it looks like. Burly word. Okay, so that should be fine, and then the header, then I want to give the header also a style. No. I'll create padding similar to margin padding. Also, you can specify the padding, whether you want to just pad the left, the right, the top, or the bottom. And the same formula applies. If you want to specify the top and the bottom, the side and the sides all together, then you can just use the column method that I showed you earlier. Or if you just want to have a same pattern all around, then you just specify, just give one value, and then it will apply to all sides. So this, in this particular instance, I want to create the padding at the top, and I want to give the header padding of 40 pixels, and I want to give it a background color of yeah, wheat. Like I said, these are like predefined colors that you can fine for CSS. But another way of specifying color is using either hexadecimals, but hexadecimals I'm not going to explain right now. I'd say the easiest way is RGBA, and what that does is basically you can just add your RGB values. Like if you don't know, RGBA stands for red, green, blue, and then alpha. Alpha would be your transparency, red of course, and then green, and then blue. So yes, it goes from 0 to 255. This is the lowest to the highest amount that you can give, or value that you can give to each value. So I'm gonna go something like this. I mean, this is not gonna be accurate. I don't want to think too much about what's the right one. I just want to make an example. I'll just say 150, and then I'll make this 0, and I'll make that 0, and I'll make this 1. Now what 1 would mean is that it will be full color. Okay, so now I go like this, and then you see now I've just give it a color red. And if maybe I add let's say 100 in the blue section, then it will be that, I mean in the green section, and this is what it will be. If maybe I remove that and then I add 100 here, then it will be more like purple. It should be, yeah. So you get it just basically this is how you can just mix the colors to get the effect that you want. And if I make it let's say 0.5 here, then you see now it gives it a transparency. If I just make it 1, then it's like really transparent, so see-through. And that's what these values are: red, green, blue, and then alpha. So I'm gonna go back to my wheat value. So this is another way that you can add colors. Okay.